Please stop messaging me on Twitter because the bird is broken. I don't know what's happening, but I'm getting way more traction than I can handle. I'm not even joking. Something has happened with the Twitter algorithm that all of a sudden no one is shadow banned. And I am getting so many messages. I'm getting so many notifications. I literally can't keep up. Like, I'm clicking on all my messages, and within 10 seconds, boom, they're right back at max. I don't know. I mean, look at this one, all right? This is me doing a humble shitpost. A humble shitpost. I didn't put any effort in it. I didn't think much about it. I just put it out there. It has Britney going, men really think it's okay to live like this. And the image has the minimalistic decorum, a picturesque scenery in the background, and Gargura to feed the soul. 4,268 likes. 443 retweets. This is insane. This is less than a day. I don't know what's happening. I don't get distraction, okay? I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not showing off. This is not normal. Not normal, chat. Here's another example. I just posted a little bit of wisdom. Remember, Elon owning Twitter doesn't make the left scared they will get censored. It makes them scared they won't be able to censor whomever they want. 183 likes. Now, I'm not the only one who has experienced this. If you look at certain accounts, like for example, Donald Trump Jr., you can see that he got over 90,000 subscribers. And you can see how weird it is. He used to get around 4,000, 10,000 per day. And then all of a sudden, this huge, massive spike, which coincided with the same day that a lot of people started noticing a lot of traction going onto their accounts. So this can really mean two things. Number one is that a lot of people have been moralized and they have come back to Twitter, or they started posting on Twitter more often, which, let's be honest, even if there's a little bit of that happening, it's probably not happening to the scale that we are seeing. I don't think that all of a sudden people are retweeting and liking my stuff and subscribing to my Twitter account. Especially when I get messages from people saying, "Oh, V, I never saw your post before. I've even forgot that I have you on follow." Now, all of a sudden, people actually get to see what I'm posting, and people actually get to interact with my stuff. And if you look at the trending tab, it's also very interesting because 2 weeks ago, you would see things like Nazis in the trending tab. Like, let's be honest, how often do Nazis come up in a normal conversation? How often did you sit down with your mother at the dinner table and you talked about the National Socialists of old? That almost never comes up. Like, all the trending bullshit that we saw on Twitter were manufactured stuff that the company wanted you to see. And now I get to see sports trending, I get to see music trending, even a little bit of politics. I get to see Section 230 and free speech trending. But these are things that I can definitely imagine people talking about. If you go on the street and you talk to your taxi driver, I do think that he might touch upon these subjects. It's almost like now it's a platform where normal people use, on the opposite of unhinged ideologues and leftist extremists. You get to see normal people using the platform, which is probably why the normal things are trending. Sports and music. Yes, like, look, if you have a platform that doesn't have sports and music trending, it's not a platform that normal people use. My mother would not use your platform. So, what I think is happening, I don't think this is Elon Musk's doing. I mean, not directly anyway, because, look, just because he got Twitter, it will take probably at least a minimum of 6 months for the deal to go through. Just because they shook hands on it doesn't mean that Elon Musk de facto owns Twitter right now. He still needs to go through the paperwork. He still needs to do all of the necessary red tape and get the licenses and all of that. So he is technically owning Twitter, but he's not in charge yet. You know, he's legally in charge, but de facto he isn't, which means that something is happening at Twitter HQ. And I honestly think is that they rolled back to a previous version of Twitter. They rolled back to a previous algorithm because they do not want the current algorithm to see the light of the day. And it may be for different reasons. It may be due to the fact that they don't want the scandal. I mean, imagine if it's exposed that they were actively diminishing right-wing voices and promoting left-wing ones, but it's not even about that. Like, let's talk about international politics. Maybe they were promoting Saudi Arabian propaganda or something in that similar manner. Or maybe they were choosing to ignore hate speech that would come from people from Saudi Arabia, right? Because the prince there, if I'm not mistaken, was having a huge share in the platform. So clearly he would have some interest, right? So I'm just thinking right now, I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm thinking, like, imagine that scandal coming out. They probably wouldn't like it. There might be a couple of illegal activities going on, maybe harvesting data from users that they don't want to know people that it was going on. Maybe they were shadow banning certain politicians and they don't want any of this to be made public. Who knows? I really don't know what to say, but the thing is, there have been changes, and there have been people that contacted me and said that their old accounts which got banned, they managed to log into them and it worked. And it's so selective. Like, for some people it seems to be able to function, but for other people it doesn't. So that's just into the hashtag interesting category that I'm going to file. But suffice to say that there are changes, and I am getting a lot of traction now. The shadow banning does seem to have been lifted. I don't know for how long this is going to last, but it is very interesting because the moment I got shadow banned, I remember talking about it, and there were a lot of leftists that said, "Oh my god, V, it's probably because of your content. It just goes stale. You can complain about social justice for so much until people get bored and stop watching you." And I'm like, okay, fine. But now I guess my content has become more entertaining than ever because it has exponentially grown. So I guess, like, people want to hear me complain about social justice, huh? Is that how it works? Probably, right? The mind of the progressive. They probably switched to a different cassette by now. I mean, the previous cassette was, "My private company can do whatever it wants. My private company can do whatever it wants. My private company." And now it's "Rich man bad. Quack, quack, quack. Rich man bad. Quack, quack, phew." By the way, I still ask the question, and this is a question you need to ask every single time you talk to a progressive. Like, you should not be able to talk to a progressive without asking this question. Why aren't the people who sold Twitter using Elon's money to fix world hunger? Why isn't the press up their ass? Because the press was up Elon's money, like, instead of buying Twitter, why don't you solve world hunger? Oh, world hunger, solve it. Oh, give people money. Give people money. Okay, fine. He didn't. He was Scrooge McDuck. But the people who sold Twitter now have Elon's money. Why aren't they solving world hunger? And where are the leftists? Up their ass. Why aren't the leftists up BlackRock's ass going like, when are you going to solve world hunger, BlackRock? Vanguard Corporation, you have Elon's money. Go solve world hunger. Solve world hunger, Vanguard. Vanguard. Why aren't they doing that? It's almost like they're the foot soldiers of the elites. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. And by the way, I have enabled super thanks, but please only give me a super thanks if you want to support this channel. If you want to talk to me, you don't have to give me money to do that. You can just go on Twitter and contact me by DMs. My DMs are open. I can respond to you. So if you just want to talk to me or get my attention, don't use the super thanks feature. That's just for the people who actually want to support the channel. And I'll use the money to hopefully buy a new microphone, simply because this one seems to be way past its expiration date.